Hello and welcome to the Villa Park podcast. It's me, Rich, and I'm back with another transfer rumor roundup. I did one yesterday reviewing four players that were linked as of yesterday and the day before, and seemingly we have another three players linked overnight this morning, and also a sporting director that is in the offing or potentially in the offing if he doesn't turn us down or get blocked. So we're going to run through those and yeah, get your views in the comments as well. So let me know what you think. Before we go, great response to yesterday's transfer roundup. So thank you for all your comments and all your views on that. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button to really help us spread the word of the channel. We're very, very close now to 1,600 subscribers. So you'll be doing us a huge favor if you hit that subscribe button. And if you do want to join and become a member and support us even more and become an official Villa Park Pod follower for just $1.99 a month, then please just hit the join button and follow the instructions from there. So backroom staff, obviously, Alemany turned us down and stayed at Barcelona, and now we have another Spanish potential sporting director on the horizon. Goes by the name of Monchi, who is at Sevilla at the moment as the sporting director there. Obviously, had a great relationship with Unai Emery in the past. His full name is Ramon Rodriguez Verdejo, but commonly known as Monchi. Was a footballer previously, was a goalkeeper, but he's currently, as I said, director of football at Sevilla. And the I guess the kind of key point is the players that he has helped discover, and also players that have gone on to massive careers and created big profits. So in terms of players, is Jesus Navas. He's helped discover Sergio Ramos as well as Jose Antonio Reyes as well, and also sourced a number of real profitable bargains, including Adriano, Dani Alves, Julio Baptista, Seydou Keita, and Ivan Rakitic. So that all and he's made around a profit of around 200 million euros in the transfer market at Sevilla. So comes with a very, very big reputation. Good at discovering players as well as spotting players across the world or selecting players across the world, because he has a network of over 700 scouts. So very, very, very vast array of contacts within the game across the world, and someone that I think worked really well with Unai Emery. Unai Emery really rates and could bring a number of talented players to Aston Villa, and I think this is again the kind of indication that we're moving up in the ranks in sort of European football, where we're being linked with these type of sporting directors and names, and creating a network of kind of players across Europe and across the world that could potentially come to us. So, look, it's exciting. Seems to be doing the rounds on Twitter that he's told Seville that he wants to leave. There'll probably be various legal situations and compensation things to deal with, but we will see. And again, it could all fall through. So, let me know your thoughts in the comments. If it's someone who Unai Emery rates and wants to work with, then I'm sure it'll be all right in our book. But again, with these things, believe it when you see it. But I think it needs to be done quickly, because there's players that need to be brought in, and fixtures are out next week and all that sort of stuff. Players will be back in pre-season training from kind of first or second week of July, which will soon come around. So I think things need to move quite quickly. Onto transfer rumours. One that I didn't really want to do, but I thought I'd humour myself and humour you guys. Harry Maguire has been kind of linked tenuously to Aston Villa, so I thought I'd run the rule over him and put a little comparison in, utilising SofaScore that I did yesterday. So yeah, not really been a good season at all for Harry Maguire. In terms of Premier League, he only played 16 games and only started 8 of them. And yeah, been a really sort of disappointing season for him, and he's been told that he's surplus to requirements. So obviously looking for a club. Um, Looking at his his age, 30 years old. His preferred foot is his right foot, and strengths are aerial duels and ball control, which I'm slightly dubious about. But for England, he has kind of got that ability to carry the ball out of defence. Um, and then, looking at his major strengths, obviously there his defending and his tackling. Um, so he's not too bad technically for a centre back, but I've compared him with Tyrone Mings being that kind of experienced player. In terms of his rating, he has slightly better technique, and slightly better defensive capabilities in terms of tackling. Um, but to me, it's not one that I would, he'd be competing potentially with a Tyrone Mings in my book, or a Diego Carlos, and he's not one for me that that it seems like an Emery signing. I think we've got leadership skills in Mings, we've got presence in terms of Diego Carlos and passing ability. So unless one of those is looking to go, I don't think this is the type of player that we're looking for, particularly with Pau Torres, being really heavily linked and a potential bid having been made for him. But I thought I would run the rule over him and put a comparison in with him. But yeah, for me, not a big one. But looking at his accuracy of passing is 85%, in his own half 94%. So again, not too bad with the ball. Interceptions per game at zero point 0.8, tackles per game 0.5. But in terms of a kind of general scope, it's not great in terms of the number of games he plays. If we go to the season beforehand, that gives us a little bit more scope. So better season for him there. 86% passing accuracy, 92% in his own half, 78% in the opposition half. So a better season the season before, but again, not someone who I think obviously played at a higher level, has got a number of England caps, but for me, I'd still be more than happy with Tyrone Mings if we're looking at a leader for us to be, that all action centre half. I don't think he does enough to knock Tyrone Mings off his perch. Next one that I am interested in is Armel Bella-Kotchap from Southampton, 21-year-old or 22-year-old German centre back. Now, to me, this one does make a lot of sense, because if we're looking at the future, if we're looking at players that have shown themselves to have some credit in a poor season for Southampton, then this is the one for me. I do really like him. By the looks of things, he's 21 years old. He, as I say, preferred foot is his right foot. So this time I've compared him with Ezri Konsa, um, and we'll have a look at his comparison now. So in terms of Kotchap, he's 83 for defence, so slightly better than Konsa in there. He's got 71 for his tackling ability, 62 for Konsa, and then again very similar in terms of their uh, technique, attacking, and creativity. So, at 21 years old, someone who could really, really put pressure on an Ezri Konsa, give us an option to be able to play in certain games. And he's played 24 games this season, had a few injuries, started all 24, hasn't scored any goals. His passing accuracy, 80% across the game, 89% in his own half, and 61% in the opposition half, which for a team like a Southampton struggling side, then that's not too bad. 1.8 interceptions per game, 1.5 tackles per game. And in terms of his strengths, his ball interception, his positioning, and ground duels. So something that Ezri Konsa is good at in terms of positioning and reading the game. So yeah, for me, will be a really good competition for an Ezri Konsa, and would obviously help to kind of increase that quality in that areas. But again, if we're looking at a Pau Torres, are we going to bring a Bella-Kotchap in, as well as having Ezri Konsa, Tyrone Mings, and Diego Carlos? It's looking like Callum Chambers will probably be surplus to requirements, but I know we're playing a lot of games, but five quality centre halves. Is that too much? You guys let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. But that to me isn't a really interesting one, and one that I would back in terms of us bringing that type of quality in. And then the final one would be, again, this one, potential tenuous link. I talked about Somerville yesterday from Leeds, and it looks like we're kind of the team, along with one or two others, Newcastle, Everton, West Ham, that agents of players at Leeds are kind of putting us in there to try and see if we might be able to be tempted. But Tyler Adams has been linked today, and one potentially that Emery has looked at or has been interested in previously and may return to, because I don't think he's going to want to play in the Championship and will be made available for transfer. So yeah, he's from what I've seen, in the World Cup, I thought he was excellent for the USA, and although he's been injured this season quite a bit for Leeds, has always looked pretty good when he's played, and and they missed him when he wasn't. So yeah, he is one for me who could, I think, come into that midfield and do very well. Now, I've I'll compare him. Actually, I compared him with Boubacar Kamara. It's a difficult one, because for me, Tyler Adams is a real box-to-box midfielder, but here it's got him as a defensive midfielder or central midfielder. But I don't know if he's quite box-to-box or quite all action. He's all action, but in terms of attacking ability of McGinn. But then in terms of his kind of comparison, he's very similar to someone like a Boubacar Kamara. So again, you guys let me know in the comments where you think he might fit in if he was to come in. Would he be kind of more employed as a Boubacar Kamara type player and be more defensive and be that number 6, or would he be asked to go and cover box to box and potentially be, getting in the box and supplying or scoring goals, such as a McGinn, although McGinn hasn't really scored too many goals this season. That's one of the areas where we'd be looking for him to improve. But yeah, looking at this, I mean, he's very, very similar to Kamara, to be honest, in terms of ability. Obviously, technically wise, he's not quite as high, but tackling, not too far off. Defensive, he's got higher stats here according to SofaScore. So very, very similar player. Only 24 and played 24 games for Leeds this season. Didn't score any goals. His passing accuracy 82%, in his own half 87%, opposition half 79%. So he's got tackles per game 3.7, so very, very good in terms of tackling. Interceptions as well, likes to get about the pitch and really sort of put himself about. 36 caps for the US and 1 goal. So to me, a player who I think could come in and again complement us. If we're after him and the Tielemans, in terms of maybe culture and ability on the ball, I'd probably say a Tielemans. But Tyler Adams is, again, I've been impressed with him, particularly when he played for the USA. So I wouldn't be too averse to that. But as I say, it looks like Newcastle are being potentially linked with him. West Ham will be linked with him. Everton. So those type of clubs will be doing the rounds with these players. So again, take it with a little bit of a pinch of salt until something is really firmed up. I mean, I think we're probably further along the line if reading between the lines with someone like a Pau Torres and we're in negotiation with someone like a Tielemans. Obviously, that's going to be more difficult because he's going to be open to all offers, and Roma are potentially interested as well as 1 or 2 others as well. So that if that doesn't get tied up quickly, then it might be looking at players like a Tyler Adams. Thank you very much for watching. As I said before, it's great to get the support on this channel. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, help us push beyond 1,600 and up to 2K. That'll be amazing. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back in the next couple of days with a keep, loan or sell episode. Back with the boys, Kev, Sam, 1 or 2 others, George and Martin. So that should be interesting. So keep your eyes peeled. We'll be doing more transfer rumor speculation shows. But thank you for watching. And as always, remember, we'll follow the Villa. Thank you.